No apps, no notifications, no blue light, just this. Let's see what's inside. Hey, hi, hello. If you're new here, my name is Melanie and I write cozy living books for real life and cozy fantasy for gentle escape. Today we are going to be talking about what is in my Analogue bag. So before we dive into what is in here, briefly, what is an Analogue bag? So analog living, being offline is obviously a huge topic right now across every form of social media you can imagine. And a few people have done this, what is in my Analogue bag, both here on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. It's also called a house purse, or I've seen a few videos calling it that, mostly from our American friends, because it is a bag, and in America they refer to a bag as a purse, but here in the UK a purse is your wallet, so I'm calling it an Analogue bag. So an Analogue bag is essentially a means of keeping everything in one place, so that when you find yourself doing this and scrolling on your phone, you have already prepared a whole bag of things that you can easily go and have a look and see what else could I be doing that is not scrolling on my phone, rather than say having to go all around your house and find one thing in your bedroom, one thing in your office, one thing in your kitchen. It is all there. That is the kind of novelty factor of it, is just having this whole collection of activities easily accessible, so that when you need to stop the scroll and come offline, you can just find what you need very easily. I keep mine in the living room because this is where I tend to spend more time in terms of being on my phone. Obviously I do this upstairs as well. Upstairs I obviously have my office, I have all my books, I have other things. This is for when it's a weekend, I'm just kind of lying on my couch and doing the scroll, and then I need to remember, oh, I need to pick up a book, I need to do a word search, I need to stop being in front of screens. There is one slightly controversial item in here that I will get into toward the end. So if you want to know what that is, stick around and I will show you and see if you think it is potentially a little controversial. Let's see what's in my bag. So first up is my Analogue life planner. I will just open it so you can see. It says in my Analogue era. This is just something that I made on Canva. I've talked about this before. I will pop a link up here so that you can go and watch that video if you haven't already. This is just a place that I keep track of things that I would like to remember. I have a reading log, a movie log, a TV show log, a space to put memorable quotes. I have diary pages for when I do something that is maybe a little more exciting. For example, we recently went on holiday to Reykjavik in Iceland, and I kept diary pages for that, and I put in little pictures. It's just a place for memory keeping for me, as opposed to personal planning, which I do in my Erin Condren. But I have this here because I also have a year in pixels page, and I'm using that to track my mood. So having it here on the sofa is a reminder to me each day that I need to go ahead and colour in that square. I'm a few days behind, but I'm going to sort that out once I have filmed this video. So yeah, first item is my Analogue life planner. Next up, puzzle books. I have both a word search, I've had this for a while because it's a winter themed one, and I also have this puzzle book. Crisscross is just my favorite kind of puzzle. Basically, I am not a crossword person at all, cannot do crosswords. So when I saw this, which is basically just, if you're not familiar with this kind of puzzle, it's just you start off with one word and then you need to fit all of these other words. This to me is so much easier than a crossword. You might think it's more complicated, but that is just what I like to do. Obviously, puzzle books come in all kinds of varieties. So if this is something you haven't done maybe for a while, maybe you've never done, If you're in the UK, these are so easy to find at supermarkets. There's whole sections of them, predominantly crosswords, but there are definitely a few different ones as well. And this word search, which I got from Amazon, it's really nice. It's also quite a big print as well. So if you're in your 40s, 50s, beyond, and you need the bigger print now, highly recommend this one. And it's just nice because they kind of illustrate it as well, so it's more exciting than just a plain word search on a page. Yeah, that one's from Amazon, and they have all kinds of different themes, including a spring one. But to be honest, I've got so many more pages to go in this. I'm just going to stick with it until I finish it, rather than buy another one just to fit the season. This next item might be the most me thing in this bag. Next up, magazines, actual paper magazines, home style, because I wanted to change some things up for the coming season. And this one that I got off Vinted, which is obviously Charm magazine, and this is from 2005. I saw it, I was like, oh my goodness, I remember when I could go into somewhere like WH Smith and buy these magazines, but obviously those days are long gone. So when I saw someone was selling this for quite a reasonable price, I had to get it. Just nostalgia moment here, nostalgia moment. And there's even a poster in the middle of it. So I have that, and I've been reading through that. I do get most of my magazines digitally through the Libby app, which you can access if you join your library. And Libby is worldwide, so it's not just restricted to the UK. So if you don't want to spend money on the paper magazine, or that's just not an option for you, you can read them for free on the Libby app. But I find things like kind of interiors magazines are just so much nicer in paper. I don't buy this every month, absolutely not. But it was spring and I was just looking for a few ideas to change things up around the home. So I went ahead and got this one. But as much as other paper magazines, they are expensive. It is not something I buy every week or even every month, just an occasional thing. And then I keep them in here just to have a read through. But otherwise, I do read them more on the Libby app. And of course, no Analogue basket is complete without some actual books. So I have two in here at the moment, very different. This is Modern Divination. I started reading this over the weekend just gone. This is one of the books that my husband got me for Christmas. It is quite a beefy book and I am excited to continue on with it. I've only read a couple of chapters, as you can see, but this is very much kind of dark academia, which I do enjoy to a point. Sometimes it can get a little much for me, but I do enjoy dark academia from time to time. And I have been really enjoying this one so far. And in a complete 180, though still academic, I suppose, this Sweet Valley University. If you saw my video recently, I've been repurchasing 90s paperbacks, and I read the first one, and this is the second one in the series. Definitely not dark academia, but a fun light read for those kind of weekends where maybe I'm not quite feeling picking up a more in-depth book. Yeah, just some things I have in there as well. I am the type of person that doesn't always just have one book on the go. I'm a bit of a mood reader. Sometimes I just need something that's a bit lighter and fluffy. Sometimes I really want to dig deep into something with all the themes and all the immersive writing. So I just kind of keep various books dotted around. Non-fiction as well. I do enjoy reading non-fiction. So a little bit of everything in there, just so it's ready for me to pick up depending on what I feel like reading on any particular day. Next up is this. It's a pack of cards, 100 ways to switch off and digital detox. I found this in a charity shop and I thought it looked interesting, so I picked it up. Let me just show you some of them before they all fall out. So they just look like this on the back, and then obviously they have the things on the front. So let's just have a look. Like, try drawing a selfie instead of snapping one. Light a candle and cuddle up with a good book. Listen to your favourite song. This is definitely one that I have been doing. We moved the stereo system that was in my husband's office into my office after we decided that I was going to get more use out of it. And I have been listening to Hilary Duff's album so much lately. It is bringing me so much joy. If you were into Hilary Duff back in the day, I highly recommend getting this new album. So good. But yeah, I keep these in here so that if I'm kind of feeling a bit restless, maybe I don't want to do something that's particularly in this bag, but I want a break from the screen. It's just a good way to get ideas basically for things to do. This could be a really fun one to have if maybe you're a family and you can't maybe decide on something. You just shuffle these, you get someone to pick it, and then that's what you're all going to go and do. So yeah, these were fun. I have no idea where you would find these online, but you could just maybe Google the title and see if they come up somewhere. Okay, so that is the main things that are in here. The rest are basically incidentals, but we're going to include them anyway. Glasses. These are my kind of first pair of reading glasses. Now I've hit my 40s. They were necessary. The prescription is particularly weak, so that's a good thing. But I do come from a family of glasses wearers, so it was kind of inevitable that I was going to need these at some point. I love these. They are so fun. They were from Thermu. They're all over social media. You've probably seen adverts for them. You can just upload your prescription and they will make them up for you, and they're relatively inexpensive. These were like £5 with discount and they are amazing. I keep some little fingerless gloves in here. Sometimes I just get really cold hands. It doesn't really warrant putting the heating on because it's not cold, it's just my hands feel cold. So those are there just for easy access. Of course, we have various writing instruments, pencils for crisscross, because there will absolutely be one that I do that I have done wrong and I need to erase it. Variety of highlighters. These three I'm using for mood tracking. This one I use for my word search. Regular ballpoint pen because it comes in handy. If you've got long hair, then you know that a hair tie and a clip is always a useful thing to have. Sometimes I just need this tied back, especially when I'm doing puzzles. So I just keep that in there so I don't have to wander up to the bathroom. Spare bookmark, because again, I don't want to have to be wandering upstairs to try and find one in my office. Second to last item of this list is a watch. You might be thinking that's a really odd thing to keep in a bag. Why aren't you wearing it? I do wear it. If I'm going outside, I will wear this so that I'm not having to look at my phone to check the time. That is also the reasoning that I keep it in my bag at home, so that if I'm just sat here reading, I don't feel the urge to kind of just tap my phone to see the time. I can just look and there it is. Okay, so we have reached the slightly controversial item that I keep in my bag, and it is Kindle Fire, which is basically the Kindle tablet. I know, this is not analog, it is a screen, but it does have fun stickers on as well. The reason I keep this in my Analogue bag is this. I like to sit and read here on the sofa on the weekends. As much as I would love to have every book that I want to read in paperback, it's just not feasible. I read a lot of indie authors and the paperback versions tend to be very expensive through no fault of their own. My own paperback is quite expensive in comparison to those that you'd find in the shops. Amazon tells us as indie authors how much this is going to cost to print, and that cost is often way more, or it was on the borderline of what you would pay for that book in somewhere like Waterstones or another bookshop. Publishers have the benefit of economies of scale. They can print thousands and thousands of books at once, and they can do it for a lot less money because they are printing so many. Whereas Amazon on demand, we are only printing when someone is buying, thus the cost is much higher. So a lot of my indie authors that I like to read, and also things in Kindle Unlimited, it's going to be on my Kindle. And yes, it is a screen, but I don't necessarily count it as screen time because I'm only using this for reading. This tablet does have the ability to, go on the internet and whatnot, but it's not great. I do not use this in any way, shape or form for browsing the internet, reading anything online, watching anything online. It's not great for that. For me, I just use it for reading Kindle books. That is it. So yeah, it's a screen, but I'm counting it in my Analogue bag because I just use it for reading, and reading is largely an analog activity. If you have to read on a screen, I don't think it's the end of the world, because sometimes it's just cost prohibitive to buy everything that you want in paperback. So that is everything that I keep in my Analogue bag. I hope you enjoyed and maybe got some inspiration from the things I keep in here. I'd love to know if you have such a bag, or maybe just a little space where you keep these kinds of items in your house for when you are trying to resist the scroll, or if there's any items in here that you've thought, actually, I'm going to add that to my pile. I would love to know, so leave me a comment down below. And if you haven't already, I'd love for you to hit the subscribe button. We are so close to 200 subscribers now, and it would be amazing if we could hit that soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.